But can you tell us what is now really the most important thing what is happening in Australia?
So there's a few different converging issues, and of course they're the same issues everyone is having, which is mass migration, importing the third world into the country, changing the demographics, erasure of Australian culture and patriotism. They want that completely gone. They've even gone so far as to ban Australia Day merchandise in our major retailers, major supermarkets, make sure that no one is really celebrating being an Australian, because they want to make sure there is no patriotism when the UN replacement migrants come in. So if anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, it's the UN replacement migration agenda. You can just simply search this on the internet. And this is where they openly tell you, we're going to replace you. We're going to replace your national population. And of course, that is a big, big problem in Australia. And so when these migrants arrive, they don't find a national identity that they're supposed to integrate with. I'm sure you would testify the same thing is happening in your country, Andrea. It's the same everywhere. And so also Australia is pushing forward at the moment, or they're trying to push forward with what's called a mis- and disinformation bill, in short. Basically, this is giving the government, or one person and another governing body, essentially, the right to determine what is and is not mis- and disinformation. These terms are, of course, like the classic CIA term of conspiracy theorist. They're just used to label anyone telling the truth that's inconvenient to the government as a misinformation spreader. And so they're trying to bring this bill in, and basically it seeks to make it illegal, essentially, for Australians to talk about. Perhaps they're feeling a little bit concerned about the banking system. Not allowed. Can't criticize the financial markets or do anything that may cause public distrust in the financial market. Can't criticize the government. Can't criticize health interventions, for example, injections. And if anyone, for example, me, if I was in Australia and this bill was active, if anyone was found to be spreading such mis- or disinformation, the Australian Communications and Media Authority would have the right to come in, seize my assets, seize all material relating to, say, an active investigation I was working on, investigate me, arrest me, and potentially put me in prison because I dare to talk about things that aren't approved. And the most egregious thing in this bill is that the government and the mainstream media are exempt from any scrutiny whatsoever, so they can say whatever they want. We also have digital ID that was approved in Australia. Now that is, they say, voluntary. But of course, within 3 days of that bill going through, an electrician was trying to renew his license and he was told you can't unless you have a digital ID. Now, of course, he fought that and eventually he got his license renewed. But for those few days that he was arguing with them, he was not able to work. So very much like the COVID injections, comply or else. And then we have things like the social media bill that they're trying to implement to say that children under the age of 16 can't use social media, it's harmful for children or whatever. But of course, this is just a Trojan horse to introduce linking your digital ID with your social media, which will essentially establish an online social credit score for you. So you are, you have to link your digital ID. They're talking about even facial recognition technology for social media use. And what this all is, Andrea, is operating under a zero trust model where you are not trusted with the responsibility of utilizing the internet. You're not safe. You have to digitally vaccinate yourself, which is what the WEF calls it, in order to be trusted to use the internet. So these are just a few of the very, very serious problems that Australia has at the moment.